In a remote time, when mysticism dictated paths and omens were as feared as blades, an ancient oracle proclaimed an epic conflict that would change the course of history. Not only kings and warriors would be engulfed by this imminent war, but even the gods themselves would see their powers put to the test. Thus was born the prophecy of a destruction that would bind divine vanity and mortal ambition into a single thread of fate. It all began long before ships cut across the sea toward the imposing walls of Troy. In the halls of Olympus, three goddesses, Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite, competed for the title of the most beautiful. For none of them was beauty mere vanity. It represented power and influence on a divine scale. It fell to Paris, a young prince of Troy, the unusual duty of judging which of them deserved that honor. Each goddess offered a gift. Hera promised kingdoms and infinite power. Athena offered wisdom and invincibility in war. Aphrodite, in a whisper wrapped in desire, promised him the love of the most beautiful woman on earth, Helen, Queen of Sparta. Seduced by the vision of an unparalleled love, Paris chose Aphrodite, unknowingly condemning an entire generation to the fires of war. Helen, seized by an irresistible passion, or perhaps by divine will, leaves Sparta and goes to Troy. However, her departure does not go unnoticed. Menelaus, her husband and king of Sparta, sees his honor shattered and summons the other Greek kings to avenge the affront. Personal outrage becomes a collective outcry. From the far reaches of Greece, legendary heroes unite, driven by a thirst for glory, a duty to honor ancient pacts, and the hope of restoring the broken balance. When news of the abduction spreads, Greece awakens. Legendary monarchs and warriors gather, and Agamemnon is chosen to lead the expedition. Amid offerings and rituals to the gods, each king reaffirms his commitment. Families bid farewell with restrained tears, aware that many will not return. Nestor, the elder of 1,000 battles, advises the younger generations, reminding them that strength without wisdom is as useless as courage without purpose. Odysseus, master of cunning, plans every step, foreseeing outcomes even before the fleet departs. Diomedes, burning with fervor, sharpens both sword and resolve, longing for grand deeds. And so, with the ships blessed and hearts armed, the Achaean fleet sets sail for Asia Minor. When Troy's walls emerge on the horizon, an uneasy silence spreads through the ships. The grandeur of the city fills hearts with fear. The Greeks' arrival is marked by small skirmishes, reconnaissance raids, duels that test the mettle of both sides. Hector, the greatest Trojan warrior, takes the front line, defending the city gates with courage and honor. Meanwhile, Paris, hesitant, realizes that it is not enough merely to desire Helen. He must take up the sword and face the consequences of his choice. This war does not belong only to men. On the battlefield, the gods move invisible pieces, shifting their favor between Greeks and Trojans. Hera and Athena bear the bitterness of defeat in Paris's judgment. Aphrodite protects her chosen one. Lightning and omens arise on the horizon, proving that this war unfolds on two levels, mortal and divine. From the walls of Troy, Helen watches the battles, torn between the love that brought her there and the guilt for so much blood spilled in her name. Throughout the field, her name echoes as a reason to live or die. But who can tell if she is the villain or merely a piece in a larger game? As the battles intensify, one name comes to dominate the Greek front, Achilles. His zeal and superhuman skill strike fear among the Trojans. Yet the same flame that drives him also fuels his pride. In a disagreement with Agamemnon, Achilles feels dishonored and, consumed by anger, withdraws from the fight. This rupture inflicts an irreparable blow to the Greeks' morale. Patroclus, Achilles' loyal companion, realizes that the absence of Greece's greatest warrior plunges the army into deep despair. He tries to persuade Achilles to return, but wounded pride speaks louder. Agamemnon, for his part, remains firm, even though he knows Achilles' withdrawal greatly weakens his ranks. With Achilles out of the picture, Hector leads counterattacks that erode the Greeks' confidence. Amid the debris of battles, Andromache, Hector's wife, feels in her heart the shadow of a tragic future looming. Cassandra, the disregarded prophetess, proclaims imminent destruction, but her words continue to be dismissed as delusions. Paris, now unable to retreat, is pushed to the front lines. Menelaus, in turn, finds in each duel a chance to reaffirm his honor, while Helen bears the burden of seeing an entire people suffer for her sake. Odysseus, ever astute, understands that victory does not lie solely in strength. The key may be in a ruse capable of subverting even the strongest walls. Each sword strike on the battlefield is a cry of destiny. Without Achilles, the Greeks cling to Diomedes' bravery and Nestor's experience. The siege of Troy continues, but the casualties mount. The gods test the heroes' faith and perseverance, leaving the question, how long can they endure? Meanwhile, Patroclus emerges as a spark of hope, maintaining unity among the Greek warriors. His desire to see Achilles return is driven both by friendship and by the certainty that only together can they topple Troy. There is a power vacuum that Troy exploits, and Hector, motivated by love for his city and family, intensifies attacks, seeking to finally turn the tide. Omens, prophecies, and the visions of Cassandra and Andromache hang like heavy clouds. Despite its bravery, Troy is surrounded. The Greeks, though weakened, continue to resist. Hatred, honor, pride, and love blend in a whirlwind that drives everyone toward an inevitable conclusion. The gears of fate turn, ready to seal the fortune of heroes and kingdoms. The story has reached a boiling point. Achilles, consumed by resentment, remains withdrawn while Greece suffers. Troy, protected by Hector, finds renewed courage in the enemy's vacancy. Cassandra cries out in vain of ruin, and Andromache feels the future weighing in her bones. Agamemnon, without his greatest warrior, sees the siege drag on. Paris bears the guilt of having ignited the flame of an epic conflict. Helen watches, lamenting the chaos that has arisen around her name. Thus ends this grand act, where each character, god or mortal, pays tribute to the inevitable unfolding of tragedy. Fate has been cast, and each choice now determines which names will be immortalized as heroes and which will fade in Troy's ashes. Did you enjoy this epic reconstruction of the journey so far? Subscribe to the channel to follow the next steps of this saga, and share it with those who also love stories that transcend centuries. The war is far from over, and Troy's legend has only begun to write its most intense chapter. Prepare your heart and your courage, for the gods' next move awaits, and no mortal will emerge unscathed from what the future holds.